All right, Jeff Zimmerman here with the two-time world champ, Keith one-time Thurman, or as I like to call him, the most interesting man in boxing. Down under, got a big fight March 12th with Brock Jarvis. What's up, champ?
Man, it's been a long time coming, but we are back.
3 years.
What's, what's, give me a second. Something just happened. Where we
There you
at?
go.
All right. All right, man. Yeah, man, we're back. 3 years, man. A lot of inactivity after a clear victory over Mario Barrios. And fights were supposed to be made, never got made. Another fights were supposed to be made, never got made. Made the fight against Zoo, popped my bicep tendon. Who would have knew? Oh, had to stay out for another year. Sad year, many tears, but somehow we lacked fear, we lacked worry, and we stayed in the grace, we stayed in the hope. We just stayed positive, just knowing that there are storms, there are dark times, but the sun, the sun will rise again and shine again. And just through the complexities of life, we've had stumbling blocks, but we're coming back on the rise, man, back in action. And that's what it's all about, man. The sport is about action. Of course, you guys every once in a while can see me do some commentating, do a little analytical work. I could always do a breakdown. Haven't started a podcast or anything yet. Um, but I know people just love a good Thurman talk. They love a good Thurman breakdown, but I'm still about that fight life, man. And I'm just so grateful to be here to showcase my skills and my talents in Australia. Get these touchdown with these international fans. I've been getting love ever since the day that I landed here, and it's a good build up. You guys probably seen some face to face trash talking with Brock the other day, and it's just going to be a great event, a great fight. I'm looking forward to being underneath the spotlight once again. It's been a long time. I mean, a lot of inactivity, but this year, 2025, I'm doing my best to get back into activity. I want to have the most active year that I've had throughout my career in many years, and just reestablish myself in the sport of boxing. I might be 36 years old, but I believe we still have a few more good years to be at it. And that's just what I want to do, man. I want to climb the ladder, create that hype, create that buzz, and showcase my skills and talent to the world once again.
Well, the first part of that was super poetic, Keith. I don't know if you realize it, but you almost had a poem there, which I love. I love hearing you to talk and listen. But you mentioned your fight with Brock Jarvis. You mentioned about the verbal spat, the little gym encounter, or what you like to call him, Ken doll, I believe. Apparently, he doesn't like philosophy. So what you just shared with me, he probably would not have cared for it too much. But talk about what happened, and it sounds like a little bit of bad blood going into this.
We've had to do a few face-offs. We had to do a few face encounters. There was a great little snippet with Fox. I don't know if you were able to see that where we were at the desk. We were
Yes.
like at a table, and we were facing off. He didn't really have a lot to say that day, unfortunately. Um, but I was about to break down one of my philosophies and he cut me off. He's like, "Come on, man, just wrap it up. Stop talking, this and that." And I don't even know what it was, but trust me, you give me an inch, I'm gonna give you a mile. All right, say something, say something. You know, I don't know what it was, but he did the right thing. He cut me off. It pissed me off, and I was livid from that point on for the rest of that interview. I mean, I've only heard back from Ben, who was the host of the intermission in between us. He said, "Man, really, it's almost 20 minutes of you spitting at him because he didn't have much to say." He says it's really the Thurman show, but when we did the live gym feed, it was a few days after that event, and I think that on some level, his team must have let him know, like, "Hey, man, you can't let this guy treat you like that. Like, you got to say something back, Brock. You got to do something, you know." So I walk in the gym and everyone's doing their little media workout and everyone's being cordial. I wasn't even sure how it was going to be that morning. I was tired. I already did one media workout. Now I'm doing another media. This is our second media workout. Like, I don't know. I feel like they're working us out here like cats and dogs to promote this fight. Of course, a lot of excitement. Thurman in Australia. I get them. I forgive them for everything that they're making me do out here. And I pumped the brakes on him a few times. I've blocked him and I said no to a few things. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm very willing to help promote and do what needs to be done. So we walk into the gym. I see everyone's really just being cordial. I'm like, all right, maybe it's just going to be a really simple day. We'll just, you know, get in there, do what everyone else is doing, and get back and stay focused, have a good training workout later today, and do what I need to do for me, right? So Brock's in the ring, and I'm not really paying him too much mind. Some dudes on the side are doing little quick interviews and stuff. But then he's like, "What do you see with his combinations?" Brock's was hitting the mitts. I said, he's standing up tall. He's a little square. You
Hmm.
know, I don't see a tremendous hand speed. You know, maybe he's going light and easy right now, but, you know, we'll see what happens come fight night. And the funny thing is, though, there was one, I wasn't really in the mood, but there was one little brainwave that shot through. It was like, zoop, you know,
Hmm.
that one little thought, you know, like a little lightning bolt. It was like, yo, go run in the ring. And I was like, run in the ring. I was like, I don't know if I need to be that live today. So I was like, whatever, I'll tone myself down. Because if I went to the ring, if I interrupted his workout, I would see, I'd get in the ring. I might want to slap box his ass. I don't know what. I was like, you know what, Keith? Let's just not even give let's not even flirt with that thought for a second. Let's let that thought go. So I let that thought go, and I'm like, I think everyone's being cordial. So I get in the ring. And now that I'm in the ring, doing little BS warm-up stuff, nothing, talking to the camera a little bit. Brock comes up to the ropes.
Right.
See, I wanted to interrupt his workout, but just for a split second, I had the little thought. But I was like, bro, you ain't gonna be able to hold back. If you go up to the ring, you gonna get in the ring, you know? Luckily, Brock got up to the ring, but he knew how to stay behind the ropes. I wish a nigga would get inside the ring
You were face
before
to
the
face
fight.
though. You guys got face to face though.
But he stayed behind the ropes. Pay
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
You put me in that scenario, I'm not staying behind the ropes. That's why I didn't walk up to the ring. I walk up to the ring, I'm gonna get in the ring.
Right.
What do fighters do? Do fighters get in the ring or they stay out of the ring? Fighters get in the ring. So I don't know who on his team, who had the thought, if he finally had enough courage to try to come up to me or what. 'Cause this boy ain't been talking all week. He wanted to talk about my shoes and my footwear. It was pathetic, but I had to give it to him and I had to act like I was offended. It was pathetic. So at the end of the day, I'm in the ring. He gets up there and I'm like, man, F this media workout. It's me and you. I'm gonna talk to you, you know? And he's saying some stuff. I got the little band on me. I'm doing my shadow boxing. He's saying some stuff. I'm talking back, and then I kind of walk away. I try to use the ring, and then he's talking some more, but he's not talking loud. I can't hear him. I said, all right, man. I got to get back to him. I said, Brock, what the fuck are you saying, kid? Say it with your chest. Say it like you mean it. I can't hear you. Say it with your chest. You know, and I was close, man. I'm 1-2ing him. Like I'm almost like tapping this boy. I'm right in front of him,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And I'm telling you, man, he's lucky. He's lucky he can't talk shit. He's lucky because if he knew how to talk shit, he would have got slapped. He would have got at least choked out. I would have put hands on him, you know,
It
because
looked
we
like
was he was because he was just something about being in my space, something about being on fight week. I took you give me an inch, I'm gonna give you a mile. Give me a reason to not like you. and I'll take it. I'll take it because this is a kill or get killed sport. You know, and all due respect, every fight in the world, everybody I ever fought, all due respect to everybody. But come fight week, what Kanye say? I don't know which rapper said it, but I got murder on my mind.
Hmm.
You know, it's not. It's like it's it's like metaphorically, I want to chop your head off. You know, we're only gonna box. I'm only gonna bop bop. Might give you a bloody nose, right? But metaphorically, it's Bernard Hopkins was the executioner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to understand boxing. Only certain people really understand boxing. You know, it's the executioner. I'm talking gaveling. I'm talking about chopping heads off. When I see my opponent on fight week,
Hmm.
I see them headless. I want this. I want to knock this block off. I wish I had some CG, boy. I wish I could just drop my head and put it over here for you. With a bop. That's what's in Keith Thurman's mind on fight week. I want to chop your head off, man. And so he's lucky, man. I'm actually happy. I'm happy he don't know how to talk trash because he could have got me in another space, you know. But I kept it just on the edge, just cordial enough, exciting enough, enough hype, enough, because they ain't paying me to slap him today. There's a day they're gonna pay me, and that's the day he gonna get slapped. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I mean, this is what I do. This is what I've done my whole life. This is just my dream. I just love boxing. So I'm happy to be here. I'm finally happy to get back into the beautiful sport, the tough sport, the hard sport. But once again, just the rough sport, and somehow still the beautiful and amazing sport of boxing.
Yeah, your fist, Keith, in that video looked like about a half of inch
They're
from his face.
they're they're a hair, baby. I promise you, they're a hair. If he
But it
that
didn't
boy don't got
escalate.
no that boy don't got no hair on his face, he don't got no hair on his chest. I would have been hitting the hairs on his chest, boy. I was right there. I was
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, I was surprised it didn't escalate. But obviously, man, you got the passion. I heard your interview. The passion, the love since you were 8 years old is still burning, the fire's still burning in you. Um, at 36, you mentioned coming off injuries. Most guys are headed off to pasture, but you still, even after two losses, though, you still want to get in the ring with Tim Zhu. This is obviously going out to Australia, but what makes you still want to fight Zhu?
I mean, it was a good fight, you
Yeah,
know? It just did you see the banner? You saw the banner.
yeah.
You on the T-Mobile Arena, you saw the banner. Come on, man. Thurman versus Zoo. It just was a good fight, you know? And I think they still, on some level, they still want it. Um, and I just need fights proposed so that I can stay busy. And if, instead of the Thurman Zoo fight being one of the biggest matchups of the year at the start of 2024, now it's just a good matchup in Australia and Thurman continuing to stay busy, you know, and Zoo trying to take a name under his resume. Let's be honest, after his two losses, um, you know, he's got to get past Joey Spencer. You say Joey Spencer is a pushover is a little wrong. You know, was Joey really the biggest baddest dog coming up? Maybe not, but is he game? He's plenty of game. Is
Yeah.
Zoo game? We know Zoo is game, but Zoo he lacked defense. He's coming off of two losses. Where's his mental at? Where's his head at? Where's his team at? They still saying that Zoo's amazing when you obviously you're not. You need to go back to the drawing board. You need to take a few notes from last year. You need to buckle up and get ready for the real world of boxing because obviously you had a rude awakening. You thought you can be on I-95 with no seatbelt. Okay. So, like I said, man, um, there's matchmaking in boxing.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with Thurman Zoo as far as just matchmaking goes. And you know, he ruined his chances of being an American superstar. So I have to do it over here on Aussie soil, you know. But it gives me an opportunity to potentially have two fights in Australia and just, you know, broadcast myself to this international fan base. And like I said about you just mentioned the dream of an 8-year-old boy, you know, one thing that I loved about boxing was I got to travel the state of Florida. Then I went to Georgia, you know, then we went out to Texas and California and, you know, Colorado Springs, Colorado, you know. I mean, I got to travel. These trips I did in boxing are more than any vacation my mother could afford. My mother wasn't taking me on so many trips throughout, you know, she was a single mother. She wasn't taking me out on all these trips. Boxing allowed me to see America, allowed me to get out of the neighborhood. My friends weren't traveling like me, you know. And then I got to fight in Canada representing USA as an amateur, you know. And so boxing has always been that. I've always known that boxing has the potential to take you anywhere, you know. One of the most exciting fighters in the world, of course, Crawford, Canelo, Tank Davis. Of course, we still have so many big names, you know. But then you got the Tyson Fury, you know. You have European champions, Russian champions, um, all sorts of champions, and then Inoue from Japan.
Mhm.
You know, tremendous, exciting fighter to watch, Inoue. You know, so. I mean, I just love boxing. I love that it's a worldwide sport. There's not too many worldwide sports. If I had to say it off the top of my head, you golf, soccer, football, right? And boxing.
Yeah.
There's not too many worldwide sports that are truly recognized on that world platform, world level, and boxing is one of them. And here I am now at the age of 36, after doing all that I've done in my career, traveling the world. You know, I've here in Sydney, I'm practically in Asia. Australia is practically Asia. All right. I've seen so many Filipino fans. Shout out to the Philippines.
Mm.
So many Filipino fans. They love my fight against Pacquiao. I have a tremendous Filipino fan base. I hope to visit the Philippines and to mingle with the fans, you know. If Pacquiao ever wants to do an exhibition match, we can do 8 rounds, Pac. Whatever you want, Pac. Let's get back. Let's do one more get back for the fans, Pac. You know. We can do it for charity, man. Let's do whatever you want to do out there, man. Feed the kids, give money to the hospitals, whatever you want to do, man. Let's do something big for the people, man. You know, I just traveling the world, man. Just love it. Love it, love it, love it. Always had since I was a kid. And now I get to do it as a grown man. But it's that feeling of joy. Like, why do grown men still eat ice cream? Right? Why do you still like chocolate cake? Right? There's there's that feeling that you had when you were a child.
Especially my mom's chocolate cake. But yes,
There you go, man. It might be mama's apple pie, pumpkin pie, that seasonal thing, that thing you only got once a year, you know? And every year, once the season comes, you gotta have it. You gotta have it, you know? And I just believe that this is the season of the comeback of Keith One Time Thurman, 2025. And I don't care who, what, when, where, and how we do it, but I'm on a mission and I'm gonna accomplish this mission. So if I have to do it out here in Australia, so be it. If I got to go somewhere else, so be it. If I got to get back into the States, so be it. Who, what, when, where, why, how, I'm not worried about that, but we're gonna make it happen.
let me, you mentioned matchmaking, Keith, and there's a name that I didn't hear, but let me play matchmaker for you for a second. I'm here in Dallas. covered your old nemesis for many years, uh, Errol the Truth Spence. The fight didn't happen when we all wanted it to happen. What about getting in the ring with him? He seems to be looking for a fight. You guys would do huge numbers. Cowboy Stadium. What do you say?
Let's make it happen, baby. I signed my contract. It had Errol Spence names right on it. I signed my side. You know, his side never got signed, and then he shifted away to go get the money with Bud, which I'm not mad at him. You know what I mean? I understand the sport. I understand the politics. I understand moments in time, and sometimes you do this instead of that. But I don't see why. I mean, it's a fight that really should have happened. We've been under the same management team for a long time. I thought, he was coming up on me, and then um, I was he really once I lost the title, he was about to fight Pacquiao. His fight fell out with Pacquiao because he was unifying, trying to get all the belts, trying to do the whole thing. And so if I didn't have the belt, he didn't have to chase my name no more, and he could just let me go off to the side. It is what it is. But yeah, the fight with Fundora fell out. I mean, I really don't need the Tim Zoo fight. I think it's just a decent fight if I'm going to stay active and busy. But if Tim Zoo obviously doesn't win in his comeback match, if he has three consecutive losses in a row, I don't know how much excitement I can milk out of that cow from that scenario. I would love to negotiate as soon as I'm back in the States uh, for the Spence fight in Dallas, in Vegas, wherever. I'll easily negotiate that fight right after this comeback fight, my initial comeback fight. So if we can make that happen, let's make it happen. I love the matchup. I've always been interested in sharing the ring um, with a great champion like Errol Spence. And, I mean, the truth is, you fought everybody, but you ain't fight me.
Hmm, the truth. Yeah, that is the truth.
That's the truth.